Man, I cannot wait to sit down for an evening of American-made TV.
I'm Steve Croft.
I'm Leslie Stahl.
I'm Bob Simon.
And I'm Mohammed. Today we are recording a segment about Iran's legislature.
Last time, we had a member of parliament, Mohammed, who was pushing not just for women, but men, children, and pets to wear hijabs as well, and for severe punishments to be established for those who disobeyed the law. You're going?
So what makes this practical, Mohammed?
It's a matter of national pride. We want our citizens to look the best.
Interesting perspective, Mohammed.
Go.
However, on today's main topic, we have a group of parliament members who are engaged in a debate about the severity of the penalty for those who wear their hijabs incorrectly. We have two members of parliament here to talk with us, Mohammed and Mohammed. Let's hear your side of the argument, Mohammed. For one of our parliament members' safety, they're disguised to keep their identity a secret.
Tell us about your perspective, Mohammed.
Well, our side strongly believes that those who disobey the law to the slightest degree has broken the law entirely, and that those should be punished accordingly in order to maintain our country's reputation. The bill we created should fall with the parameters of Islamic law and the Constitution, and will become a bill.
Interesting perspective, Mohammed. Now we will see the opposing view of Mohammed.
Of course, and thank you for taking my privacy seriously as a member of the minority. Well, you see, I believe we shouldn't be so harsh on our citizens, and that we should treat them with more respect than punish them for every little mistake. Do I believe, of course, that we should imprison those that threaten our national security by dancing in public? Yes, of course. But I believe this bill goes too far.
Interesting. Now back to you, Mohammed. How would you say you would pass this bill?
Go.
Well, first we will vote on the bill in the Majlis, which should go well, considering conservatives hold the majority of the seats and agree with our bill. Then, the Guardian Council, a group of religious leaders who we get along with well, will decide if our bill follows the criteria of Islam and the Iranian Constitution. Hopefully they will agree with us and pass the bill. If not, I don't think we could revise it. And then the bill would have to be sent to the Expediency Council. And they'll make the final decision between the Guardian Council and the Majlis on whether or not the bill will become a law. And if it doesn't become a law, I believe our land will turn into a lawless landscape of chaos. Your arrogant ways will be the end of our people!
Gentlemen, keep it civil.
Welcome back to iSpan, where we bring you Iran's most breaking news. In today's breaking news, the Assembly of Experts has chosen a successor for our Supreme Leader. In a twisted turn of events, it appears to be his son, Mustafa Khamenei. The Assembly of Experts is unclear as to why they chose Mustafa Khamenei as the new Supreme Leader. Now, to help our viewers understand how this process works, we'll present you with the diagram here. Cuts to a photo. The photo should be there. If you look at the diagram, you can see that the Supreme Leader is elected directly by the Assembly of Experts. However, members of the Assembly of Experts are voted on by the people. However, the candidates are selected by the Guardian Council. Now, if you look to the right of the Guardian Council, you will see that the Supreme Leader gets to select who's in the Guardian Council. If you follow the arrows going left from the Supreme Leader to the Guardian Council, down to the candidates, and up to the Assembly of Experts, and back, it almost creates a circle. It looks a lot like one, but it's just not. And that's the news we bring to you today from iSpan. Thank you for watching. I hate my life.
Well, hi kids. Don't I have a story for you today? It's a children's book on Iran's judiciary branch. I think it could be really helpful. I think it's going to be a really interesting book too. It's called The Neighborhood Courtroom Sounds serious, but I think it's gonna be fun. Let's take a look into it.
Hi. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you, so let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor? Hi, television neighbor.
The Neighborhood Courtroom by Muhammad. Well, look, kids, they seem to have left a quote. Death to a... we'll skip that. One day, way out in the deserts of Iran, Muhammad was playing soccer with his friends when something happened. Ooh, look, there's a lot of them. When they were all done playing, someone tried taking Muhammad's soccer ball. That's mine, one of them says. No, it's mine. Ooh, I hope they don't fight. So, Muhammad went with some friends to the house of a very old man, a man who the entire neighborhood respected and listened to. I bet that's his house right in the middle there. The man took them in and listened to their problem about how none of them could agree who was right. So the old man thought to himself for a minute when he suddenly had an idea. Ooh, I hope it's a good one. He said, "Boys, I have a solution. You will form a court for you and your friends to settle all of your fighting. Muhammad, I'm appointing you as Chief Justice, and you may pick anyone you want to be your fellow judges." And he says to them, "You must promise to judge based on Islamic laws." Thankfully, order had been restored to the neighborhood, thanks to the wise old man and his decision to choose Muhammad as Chief Justice. Muhammad did as the man instructed him to, and ruled fairly based on Islamic laws. He was careful when choosing other judges to join him in court to ensure rulings would always be the best, and so that other judges could help dissolve smaller fights without him.
Well, that sure was an interesting book, and I'm so glad you stayed to listen to the whole thing. Well, I hope you learned something. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thinking about moving to Iran? Not sure yet? Well, here's some of the top reasons you should live with us in Iran. Are you tired of your country not being able to keep itself together? Well, don't worry. We have a supreme leader who overlooks all aspects of religious life in our country. Are you tired of your country switching ideologies and parties? Well, worry not about that either. We keep the same ideologies all the time, all year long. No need to worry about a change in government. What about democracy? Are you wanting to keep up with the world's greatest trends? Iran can do that. We have democracy where you can vote for the president of your choice. Selected candidates by our glorious Guardian Council. Anyone you want, as long as they want it. Tired of seeing other pesky religions that you don't believe in? Well, worry not. In Iran, we persecute those religions. In fact, we have public hangings and stonings. In fact, I'm going to one right now myself.
Don't worry, that's screen recording. I'm assuming for the audio because I'm getting audio recording, that's weird echoing. So you can cut everything off up until now. The neighborhood courtroom. I'm Mohammed.
In the 20th century, Iran experienced a series of political upheavals. By 1953, a CIA-led coup ousted Iran's Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh, leading to the rise of autocratic regime of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, also known as the Shah. The rise of the Shah led to the westernization of the country, primarily for Western countries to take advantage of Iran's resources. To an extent, it was a time of great industrialization for the country. However, the people of Iran soon began to resent the Shah. They didn't agree with his ideology or his support of westernization, as they felt their culture and religion was being threatened. With the time, not only was the Shah seen as a puppet for the West, but he had grown his own reputation for evil. The Shah had acquired massive sums of wealth by exploiting Iran, leading to Switzerland for lunch, and buying expensive vehicles. Some of his wealth on not only newer, luxurious items, but also spent money on vintage cars and vintage watches. He even gave out some of his watches as gifts to his guests. Additionally, he gained the reputation of cruelly tormenting and killing those that opposed his rule. Eventually, the people revolted. The people of Iran were fed up with the Shah's rule, and 25 years after his rise to power, revolution had taken hold of the country. In 1979, the Iranian Revolution overthrew the Shah's regime and established the Islamic Republic of Iran. Led by Ayatollah Khomeini, the revolution promised to bring democracy and social justice to the country. The Shah himself fled onto a plane back to the U.S. But the real question is, what happened to his gold? He could have possibly paid off the U.S. to take him in. Could he have buried it in the desert, backyard, or the desert is his backyard? Buried it in the desert? Did he spend it on drugs? Did the amount of luxury cars he bought finally catch up to him in a very expensive insurance payment? We may truly never know. That is it for this week's episode. Tune in tomorrow for another episode on the History Channel.
Come on!
Welcome to today's show. My name's Muhammad, and this is Rufus.
Hi, kids.
So, today we're gonna go to Iran, and we're gonna teach you about the executive branch of their government, which is in charge of enforcing laws.
Where are we?
We're in Iran. This is my homeland. Don't you see how beautiful it is?
So they make sure that people don't break rules?
Today we're talking about the executive branch, and it's one of Iran's 3 branches of government, and it's in charge of enforcing laws and rules.
So they make sure that people don't break rules?
Exactly.
So who is in charge of the executive branch?
Well, the president of Iran is the head of the executive branch. He is approved by the Guardian Council, a group of experts in religion and law. And then people elect from whoever the Guardian Council lets run for president.
That doesn't seem very fair.
Shut up! The elected president then serves a 4-year term in his job. He's commonly called the head of government, which means he carries out daily decisions to keep the government functioning for the country.
Oh, I see. Like the U.S. president. But what about the supreme leader? Who is he? And why the hell is he so special?
What the? The supreme leader is the highest ranking politician and religious authority in the land of Iran.
Huh?
He's the most powerful person in the Iranian government. The current supreme leader is Ayatollah.
What kind of power does he have?
The supreme leader has a lot of power in Iran. He's the commander-in-chief of the Revolutionary Guard, which is the country's formal army. Don't you see them over there? The Expediency Council is a group that settles disagreements between the Majlis and the Guardian Council, but that's for another time.
But how does the supreme leader become the supreme leader?
Well, the supreme leader is chosen by a group of experts, called the Assembly of Experts, in fact, and the supreme leader can serve for life as long as he's not forcefully pushed out of the position.
Thanks for explaining that, Mohammed. I feel like I learned a lot.
That's great. And remember, it's important to learn about different systems of government so we can understand the world around us better. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to INN. We are living during a special time in Iran. This year, many positions are open for re-election in the government. As the years have aligned for elections in the Majlis, the Assembly of Experts, and the presidency, as well as the Supreme Leader and the Chief Justice will be selecting for the Guardian Council. So tonight, we're going to take a closer look into Iran's elections. Firstly, we'll cover the Guardian Council, one of the few government bodies that the people have no say in electing. As you may know, the Guardian Council consists of 6 clerics and 6 lawyers. The clerics chosen by the Supreme Leader and the lawyers chosen by the Chief Justice. And this is important because their choices will affect the rest of tonight's elections. Now, for the events that the people have been waiting for all tonight, the president is one of the few bodies that is able to be directly elected on by the people. Now, as for the candidates that are running for president, they must be vetted by the Guardian Council in advance before they can run their campaigns. Now, as we had started off with 5 and we ran our direct election, unfortunately, there was no simple majority. Now we have run into a runoff election where the top 2 candidates will be voted on until one has the majority. We are here tonight with Mohammed Ashkar and Muhammad Khan, and tonight we'll be looking into who the presidential winner will be. We go to the election ballots tonight to see who is winning the presidency. As you can see, the people are waiting, the tension is palpable, and the results are in. The winner, Muhammad Khan! Is the election happening in Parliament. Now, of course, each of the candidates must be vetted yet again by the Guardian Council. Now, however, past that point, Iran is split into 31 provinces, and within each one of those provinces, each one has different amounts of electoral votes given to them. Now, some of those provinces are single constituent, and others are multi-constituent voting places. Now, in the single constituent voting ones, someone must be first past the post of the threshold of 25% in order to gain their seat. Now, however, if one does not gain at least 25% of the votes, then they move on to the second round between the top 2 candidates, in which one must then pass the threshold for majority. Now, if you move into the multi-constituent ones, however, what happens is all the seats are filled by candidates that have all earned 25% of the votes. Then they move into a second round where the candidates are doubled and the number of seats stays the same. And that concludes our topic for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. As you can tell, Iran keeps their elections fair, democratic, and they keep a diverse opinion in the loop. Thank you for watching INN. Who am I kidding? It's all rigged. It's all rigged. It's all rigged. Don't you see it? Don't you see it? The Supreme Leader picks the people in the Guardian Council. The Guardian Council takes presidency, legislative, and the people in the Assembly. They control everything. The judicial, the executive, they control everything. It's a big circle of power. Don't you see it? Don't you see it? It's a conspiracy. We have limited democracy. It's not real. It's not real.
I quit. Bye.